Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back here from a short little break, ready to break down some NBA. We got 6 games tonight. We got a good amount to talk about, a good amount of injuries. So let's go over. Here, let me tweet out that I'm live really quick, and then we can jump into it. Let's see, where was my tweet? There it is. All right. Okay, so let's go over what we know so far for today. So a lot of this stuff, let's see. A good amount of the stuff is for Wednesday at the beginning here. Jabari's good to go for Tuesday. He's someone we can consider. Let's see, Wednesday. Devin Booker doubtful. I think he just got ruled out too. So, Rubio, Kelly Oubre, Mikal Bridges, those guys obviously get a boost. We do have DeAndre Ayton now coming back to the lineup though, so that is more usage to go around. Let's see, Fox will play on the bench. First game back, he's 7.7K. No interest in the first game tonight. I believe he's going to be on a minutes limit. Marvin Williams available to play. No Batum. That's somewhat, appealing. Marvin Williams. Talk about that in a sec. Let's see what else. Anthony Davis just got ruled out. Where are we here? Yeah, De'Aaron Fox will have a minutes limit. So Anthony Davis got ruled out. That's big, right? Because now I love McGee and I love Dwight. Both those guys just get a huge boost. They're going to have to play. Those two guys are going to play the 48 minutes for sure at the center. So, at least they're going to get like 24. We saw both of them go off the one or two games Anthony Davis has missed. Both McGee and Dwight have gone off. The Pacers run big too. So I love McGee and I love Dwight. I really think you can play them both. I'll talk about that in a bit. Jared Dudley said he'll start for AD, so you can consider him as a value play. He's just a very low usage guy. I would much prefer paying a little bit more for McGee and Dwight Howard compared to Jared Dudley. And that's what we got so far for news. As far as over-unders and spreads, Lakers, Pacers at 212. The Lakers favored by 3. Kings, Hornets, 208. The Kings favored by 5.5. Hawks, Knicks, 225. The Knicks favored by 2. That game seems pretty appealing. Same with the Nets, Pelicans at 228. The Nets favored by 2.5. Those two games definitely stand out as the most appealing for DFS purposes. Magic, Jazz, 209. That's kind of a stay away. The Jazz favored by 7. And then Suns at the Clippers here, 13.5-point favorites. The Clippers are 224.5 over under. So let's just go team by team here. Again, it's good to be back, guys. Happy to talk about some DFS, so let's do it. Lakers, Anthony Davis just got ruled out. So that is huge. Obviously, LeBron gets a huge usage boost, right? He becomes a very, very safe spend up now with no Anthony Davis. He's like their go-to guy, and they have like no one else really that can do a whole lot in the offense. So LeBron as a spend up, you obviously can't go wrong there. Rondo definitely gets a boost as well. He's just going to get more minutes in my opinion. I know him and Anthony Davis don't play the same position, but there's just more minutes to go around. Rondo will play a few extra minutes in my opinion. A 4.7K. I think he's this really sneaky GPP option because not a lot of people will be on him. I think the chalk plays around the same position are going to be like RJ Barrett, right? He's been talked about a lot, as well as Lonzo Ball. If you want to pivot off those guys, Rondo for a lot lower ownership, in my opinion. So I do like him for GPPs. The secondary wings are like KCP, Danny Green, Caruso, again, Jared Dudley. He's going to start. He's such a low usage guy. You can go there. I would just much prefer paying a little bit more for McGee at 3.9K and Dwight Howard at 4K. Again, the Pacers run big. They have two bigs out there a lot of the time, so I think Dwight and McGee are going to have to play the 24 minutes combined, or the 48 minutes combined, I should say, at center. And we saw when one or two games Anthony Davis has missed this year, both of them at one off. So I love Dwight. I love JaVale McGee. They're my favorite value plays of the slate. Both guys are just, when we can project him to play more minutes, that's huge, right? Because he's the guy that can get you there in like 15 minutes. But if we can project him for like 24, 25 minutes, then you really got to like him. And same thing for Dwight, right? He plays around 15 to 20 minutes. If you project him to get like 24 to 25 minutes, that's just a big boost. So both those guys, I like a good amount. And again, way more usage around with no Anthony Davis. So McGee and Dwight, love both those guys as value plays. Avery Bradley is the min price. He was on a 25 minutes limit the last game. Again, he's kind of in that Jared Dudley territory. I might prefer Bradley to Jared Dudley. If they're not, I don't know. I don't think we have to go there. I really don't. I just think McGee and Dwight are the value plays, and that's kind of how you go. And then LeBron at the top, obviously, and then Rondo as a pivot off of the high-owned R.J. Barrett and Lonzo Ball. So that's what I'm looking at here for the Lakers. On the Pacers side, my boy Sabonis, right, 8K. No Anthony Davis. That is a boost, right? He's going to be going up against McGee and Dwight. So better matchup for him. I think he's a solid option here at 8K. I just don't know if I'm going to try to jam him into my lineup. I do think he stands out as a decent play. I just don't think he's like the best play. Kind of the same thing with Brogdon, right? It's just a tougher spot in general. Even with Anthony Davis out, Lakers just play at a slower pace. So, Sabonis, Brogdon, I think those are the two guys that are the most interested at 8 and 7.4K. But I think I'm going to prefer players in the Hawks-Knicks game and Nets-Pelicans game at similar prices just because it's a lot better spot, right? So I don't have an issue if you want to go Sabonis and Brogdon. They're kind of in the same territory as Rondo as a pivot off of like high-owned guys. Since I'm a one-lineup guy, don't think I'm going to go with Sabonis or Brogdon. And then Turner, Warren, and Lamb, the prices are somewhat appealing, right? 5K, 5.5K, and 4.9K. I don't know if we have to do it. I really don't. I think the two Lakers bigs as value guys, and then you got guys like R.J. Barrett, Lonzo Ball. I think these guys are okay options. They don't stand out as great plays. The bench guys, probably not for me. So really, I like a lot more on the Lakers side. But on the Pacers side, it's Sabonis and Brogdon that I'm mainly interested in there. As far as the Kings and the Hornets, honestly, not a whole lot stands out here for the Kings, even in a really good spot. Fox coming back. We got Bagley back. Bagley's been on a minutes limit. Fox is going to be on a minutes limit. If there's going to be no minutes limit, which I haven't seen anything yet, so if we don't hear from or we don't get any news, I'd assume he's still going to be on a minutes limit like before lock. Let's see. I haven't seen anything about the Marvin Bagley minutes limit. So unless we get news, I'm going to assume he's still going to be on a minutes limit at 5.5K. It's a risky option. I think I prefer other plays. Again, Fox, definitely not going to go there, coming out the bench at 7.7K. And then that just takes a hit to the other guys, right? Like Buddy Hield, not going to have like a very high usage rate anymore with like playing alongside Fox and Bagley. No thank you on Barnes. Bogdan's okay. Bjelica and Holmes, Bagley back. Everyone just takes a hit here, and I know it's a really good spot, but just no one stands out as a good play. If I was going to play someone, I think it would be either Bagley or Bogdanovich. Again, Bagley, I still think he's going to be on a minutes limit. So all in all, it's a good spot, but just no one stands out as a great play here for the Kings. On the Hornets side, so the Kings aren't necessarily a great defense. They've just been playing at a really slow pace. But with De'Aaron Fox back, that they are going to play at a faster pace. The thing is, he's coming off the bench. He's made a minutes limit. So, yeah. There's Graham and Rozier at the top. I think are okay plays. I would definitely lean towards Rozier for, $1,600 less. He stands out as an okay option here. We know in a close game he will get like 35 minutes. If you want to pay up for Graham and be contrarian, you can. Not going to be the way that I go. We got no P.J. Washington, so that is pretty big news, right? He was playing big minutes, 40, 37, 38 minutes. Those minutes have to go somewhere. I think Bridges gets a little bit bump. Don't know if I want to go there at that price. I think I might prefer some other value guys. Cody Zeller started at the 4, and he played 29 minutes. He's someone I do have some interest in. The thing is, they do have Marvin Williams back, so he can definitely take some minutes at the 4, which does, is a downgrade to Cody Zeller. The bench guys like Monk, I don't know if I want to do it. Biyombo, 4.8K seems priced about right. So, yeah, if Marvin Williams was out, I would have had a good amount of interest in Cody Zeller. But with him now back, I don't know if Cody Zeller plays like the 30 minutes like he did last game. So, yeah, the Hornets, again, not really good spot. No one stands out as a great play. I think my favorite play would be Rozier. Zeller, if he was going to play 30 minutes, with Marvin Williams now back, I think those minutes go down to like 20 to 25. So, yeah, all in all, this game, not super excited about for DFS purposes. Now we get to the bread and butter games here with the Hawks and the Knicks. So, on the Hawks side, I think Trae Young is an interesting contrarian play here for GPPs. I don't mind him. LeBron is obviously the clear-cut spend up if you're playing it safe with no Anthony Davis, right? Again, if you want to get contrarian in GPPs, you can have Trae Young. It's a pretty good spot here at the Knicks. I just don't know if I'm making one lineup, I don't know if I can do it. Jabari Parker's okay, but his minutes have been down recently. And even in close games, 21, 27, 27. He's not getting like the 30 to 35 or so he was earlier. So he's someone you can look to for GPPs, but if you're making one lineup, I don't know if I can do it. And then the bigs with Len, Damian Jones, probably not for me. DeAndre Hunter is interesting. He's been playing big minutes, 37 and 37 last couple of games. He's just not a very high usage guy. He's very up and down. I think he's someone that is viable, definitely viable, cheap option. I just think, again, I would prefer the two Lakers bigs. I would prefer R.J. Barrett and Lonzo Ball for a similarly priced. So DeAndre Hunter, if you feel really good about him, you can go there. I'd slightly prefer some other value plays. The other pieces for the Hawks, not only for me, Herter, Cam Reddish, Crab, they just have so many guys to give minutes to that not a whole lot stands out there. So, DeAndre Hunter is an interesting cheap play. Jabari and Trae Young as GPP only options, and that's kind of what I got for the Hawks. On the Knicks, there's more that I like here. So at the top is Julius Randle at 7K. The core of the Knicks guys have been getting more minutes here with Randle, R.J. Barrett, Marcus Morris. They've been getting 35 plus minutes. This is a really good spot against Atlanta. So I do have some interest here in Julius Randle, a good amount of interest at 7K, even though he's priced somewhat up. It's just a really good spot, and the minutes will be there. This game should stay close, a really good matchup. So I do like Randle. I do like Marcus Morris at 6.2K. Again, both guys will probably get around 35 minutes in a close game. You can't get a better matchup than this. We know Marcus Morris has huge upside too, right? 62 fantasy points a game against Golden State. He's very up and down, though, 18, 33, 12, 62. So he's someone I'm definitely considering, though. Mitchell Robinson, okay. I just think I prefer those other guys. He's very up and down, gets in foul trouble a lot, so don't know if I want to take a shot on this slate. Alfred Payton even is viable. He's been getting more minutes, 30, 27, 25 minutes. So he's an interesting pivot as well off of a guy like R.J. Barrett, who's going to be who's going to be way more popular, right? Because R.J. Barrett he's just going to be chalky. He plays more minutes. He's very up and down. So if you want the pivot off a high-owned R.J. Barrett for a little bit more, you could go Alfred Payton. And then R.J. Barrett himself, right? 4.5K. He's been talked about a bunch around the industry. He's going to be super chalky. He's had back-to-back bad games. He's also somewhat up and down. So I don't think he's a must. I think he stands out as a really good value play, right? He's definitely up there with the best value plays with him, the two Lakers bigs. But I think you can fade him if you want to, right? There's other guys similarly priced that I think have upside as well, like Rondo, Lonzo Ball. I just talked about Alfred Payton on the same team for a little bit more. So RJ Barrett, obviously, if you're playing cash games, you can definitely go there, but there are pivots off of him. I don't think he's a must play. Ntilikina, not for me. Bobby Portis and Mets have been down. I don't think we have to do it on this slate. And that's kind of it. So the Knicks I like a lot here. It's Randle and Morris at the top. Alfred Payton as a pivot off of R.J. Barrett, and then R.J. Barrett himself. Those main four I have a good amount of interest in. Mitchell Robinson, not so much as he's always in foul trouble. Just a riskier option in my opinion. So really it's those main four, Randle, Morris, Alfred Payton, R.J. Barrett that I have interest in on the Knicks side. Next game, Nets, Pelicans. This one I have a lot of interest in. This is probably my favorite game-to-game stack. So let's talk about the Nets here. Dinwiddie, love him here at 7.5K. You just can't get a better spot here than against the Pelicans. In close games, he will get 35 minutes. We've seen it, right? He's their go-to guy, and he has flash upside. So one of my favorite plays of the day there at 7.5K. Then let's talk about the bigs with Jarrett Allen and DeAndre Jordan. They're a little hard to break down just because they kind of will go with a hot hand with who's playing better at the time with Allen versus DeAndre Jordan. So, Jarrett Allen could play 30 minutes. He could play 20 minutes. So he's a riskier option, but he has huge upside in this game. So I think he's a GPP only option. Same thing with DeAndre Jordan. It's just, if he's playing well, he might get 25 minutes. If not, he might get 18 minutes, right? So both those guys in a good match against the Pelicans stand out as good GBP options. I just don't know if I could recommend them for cash games. Karis LeVert, I think he's still out, right? Yeah, still out. But Taurean Prince stands out as a decent play as well at 5.5K. The last game against Philly blew out, so he only played 25 minutes. Before that, 32, 33, 34, 30. So he should get over 30 minutes. This is a really up-tempo game against the Pelicans, so I have some interest there in Taurean Prince. Joe Harris, okay. Garrett Temple, okay, right? But I don't feel great about those guys. Wilson Chandler, was he in the rotation? He did get 19 minutes. Can't go there yet. Really my main interest here for the Nets is Dinwiddie for sure. I do have a good amount of interest as well in Taurean Prince. And then the two centers for GPP options. You can go Harris and Temple. I just don't feel as good about those guys. So that's kind of my main interest here for the Nets. Again, I do like a good amount here. It's a really good spot. On the Pelicans side, I love a lot here. So we got no JJ Redick. Obviously still no Zion Williamson. Brandon Ingram, Drew Holiday at the top. Love both these guys as spend-ups. Both of them we know in a close game. The game against Orlando, we got in foul trouble. Ingram will get 35 or so minutes in a close game. This is a really good spot against the Nets. So, Ingram and Drew, love both those guys. If you're going to make me pick between the two, that's almost a coin flip. Right now, currently, I have both of them in my lineup. I might try and I don't have LeBron in there right now, which is obviously risky. I might try to take out Ingram, maybe get LeBron. We'll see. I'll play with it in a bit here. We have about 30 minutes to lock, but I love both those Pelicans guards, or both those, Pelicans big two. And then no JJ Redick, right? So there's a lot of minutes to go around here. 32, 34, 36 minutes. Those minutes have to go somewhere. So I think Lonzo Ball gets a pretty big boost here at 5K. I think he gets over 30 minutes. I like him a good amount at that price. Again, if you want to pivot off of a high-owned RJ Barrett, I think Lonzo Ball is a really good option. Josh Hart as well, 4.7K. I think he gets over 30 minutes, maybe 35 minutes, right? Those minutes have to go somewhere. So I think Hart and Lonzo Ball are the main beneficiaries. And then we got Derek Favors back as well. We haven't heard anything about a minutes limit for him for this game. He was limited to 20 minutes in the game against Orlando, so we'll see. I don't think he's going to come out and play like 35 minutes like he was like earlier in the season. But I think it could go up to like 25 or so, which makes him a decent option. How do you think? Right now, unless we hear news of a definitive like no minutes limit, that he's just for GPPs because, again, I think there's still a decent chance he will be on that minutes limit. So, yeah, he's someone I have interest for GPPs. If there's going to be no minutes limit, then I have a lot more interest in him. Jackson Hayes, even at 3.8K. Again, the Nets are a traditional team, so they always have a big center out there, whether it be Jarrett Allen or DeAndre Jordan. So I think Hayes, if Favors is going to be limited, I think you could look to him as value play. But right now, I'm a slightly lean towards McGee and Dwight Howard for similarly priced. Kenrich, don't know if we have to do it. Okafor, not for me. I think he was out of the rotation, or basically out of the rotation. Yeah, so again, a brief overview here for the Pelicans. I like a lot here. Drew and Ingram at the top. I like those guys a lot. No JJ Redick, so Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart I think get a pretty big boost. I think both those guys get over 30 minutes, maybe closer to 35. This is a really up-tempo game, so those big four I have a lot of interest in. Favors, if he's not going to be limited, I would love him. I still think he's going to be on a minutes limit, though, so that's why, unless we hear otherwise, he's only a GPP option. Hayes you could look to, but I'm going to slightly prefer JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard for a similar price. And then, like Frank Jackson and NAW probably get into the rotation, but those are like dart throw GPPs, right? Like, I just don't think we have to do it if you're making one lineup. And that's kind of what I got here for the Pelicans. So, Orlando, Utah. I really think you just cross this game off and move on. There is not a whole lot of everyone's back now for the Magic. Vucevic, what he played, 29 minutes in the last game. The price is appealing, right? But I don't think we have to do it against the Jazz. Isaac Fournier, Gordon Fultz with Vucevic back, not for me. It's honestly, this game is pretty quick. I think you fade it, you cross it off, you make it a 5-game slate, and you move on. The Jazz, kind of the same thing, right? Conley came back, was somewhat limited, but still, him coming back definitely takes a hit to the other guys. Ingles, Bogdanovich, Mitchell, Gobert. Orlando plays at a really slow pace, not for me. So, my strategy right now for this slate is just cross this game off and move on. Last game of the night, Phoenix and the Clippers. So this one is a kind of a hard game to break down because there's a lot of blowout risk, and then there's some injuries to talk about. So let's talk about the Phoenix side first. Devin Booker is doubtful. I think he just got ruled out actually. So with him being out, Rubio gets a big usage boost. He'll still play the big minutes, but he's had he had a triple-double last game. He definitely takes command more in the offense with Booker out. Mikal Bridges started in the last game, played 31 minutes. I think he's an okay option. And then let's see, Cameron Johnson got more run as well. Him and Bridges are okay at value plays. I don't think they stand out as amazing value plays. And then we do have DeAndre Ayton back, right? That's the big news. We haven't already heard anything of a minutes limit. I think he's going to be good to go and play normal minutes, which should be like 30 to 35. So he's an interesting GPP option at this price. I don't think we're going to get news of it before lock, whether or not he's going to be on a minutes limit. Again, it was a suspension, so I think he's going to be in good shape, but who knows? So, yeah, I don't know if it's a cash game option, but I think he's definitely in play for GPPs at that price. No Devin Booker, again, that's a lot of usage around. Kelly Oubre as well gets a usage bump. So, yeah, it's kind of tough to break this down. It's a tougher spot. No Devin Booker, though, there is a lot of usage around. So, Rubio, Ayton, Oubre all get a pretty big boost. The value guys with Bridges and Cameron Johnson should get more run. Baines, Kaminsky, and Saric, not for me with DeAndre Ayton back. And that's kind of what I got. So really, it's the big three there for Phoenix with Rubio, Ayton, and Oubre. I think those guys are maybe only in play for GPPs because of the blowout potential. And then, the two value guys with Bridges and Cameron Johnson. And then lastly, we got the Clippers. So we got, I think Pat Beverly and Lou Williams are both still questionable. They are. That's somewhat big news, right? If both those guys miss, then, Kawhi and Paul George get a boost. Even Montrezl Harrell gets a little usage bump. These guys, it's a good spot, but I don't think you go there for cash games just because of the blowout potential, right? It's a 13.5 point spread. So I think these guys are in the category of only GPPs. Kawhi, Paul George, Montrez, no issue with any of those guys, right? If Lou Will gets ruled out, there just is more usage to go around. So those three would obviously get a bump. I think only in play for GPPs. Lou Will himself, if he plays, is an okay, risky GPP option. Pat Beverly, if he plays, another kind of, again, only GPP option. Harkless, not for me. Derek Walton, what were his minutes last game? Played 30 minutes. 30 minutes in back-to-back games. So he's someone, you can consider he's a low usage guy, though, again, playing alongside Paul George and Kawhi. I would definitely prefer McGee, Dwight Howard, RJ Barrett, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart to, Walton. And then the other guys, I don't think we have to do it. So that's kind of what I got here for the Clippers. Let's see if we got any more news, and then we can just get to some questions. Let's see. Yeah, still no news yet on minutes limit for some of the guys, right? But let's get to some questions here. All right. I like Randall, just can't fit him. Not in Morris tonight. That's fair. It's a really good spot for those Knicks guys. So I have a good amount of interest in them. Anyone fading Barrett? Again, you can definitely fade RJ Barrett. Like I said, I talked about the guys you can pivot. Rondo, Alfred Payton, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart are all similarly priced. I think you can pivot. I think RJ Barrett's going to be really popular, but I don't think he's a must play. I like Hart too, but didn't fit him in. I'm fading Barrett. Again, he's going to be super popular, so don't mind that at all. My line is Lonzo, Dinwiddie, Bridges, Prince, McGee, Rubio, LBJ, Payton. Yeah, I like that. Rubio, somewhat risky as of a play just because the potential blow up. If it stays close, he's got pretty big upside. Bridges, again, don't mind. He'll play more minutes with no Devin Booker. Obviously, LeBron stands out as a good play. So no issue with that. Let's see, I'm going to try to enter a few more contests here. Peyton. Yeah, so I think he's a pretty solid pivot off of RJ Barrett for sure. He's not going to play as many minutes, but I think he gets 25 to 30 minutes. Bridges, Phoenix, yeah. Can we play Dwight McGee? Yeah, I think we can. The 1 or 2 games that Anthony Davis missed, both of them had really good games. There's a lot of usage to go around. They're just higher usage guys with no Anthony Davis in the lineup, and they should play more minutes too. I think they split the center minutes. I don't think they're going to play alongside each other, but I think they split it maybe 24-24 evenly, right? So I think you can play them both. The Pacers run big, so Dwight or McGee. I'll go McGee, I guess, just because he has flashed more upside in limited minutes, but I'm playing both. Rondo, Peyton, point guard, FanDuel. Yeah, can you play Dwight and McGee together? Yep, I am currently playing them together, so I think you can. Bagley could go off against Charlotte. He can. I just don't know. We haven't heard anything about a minutes limit still. So he's someone I do have some interest in. If we don't hear before lock, I think he's only a GPP option. Let's see. I don't like the way that the Draftkings does like the app update. I don't like the way it is. Let's see. Could NAW start for JJ? I don't think so. I think it's going to be probably Lonzo or Josh Hart. Did Lonzo start the last game? I don't know. I missed I've been on vacation the last 4 days, so I forget if he started or not. But either way, him and Josh Hart should play over 30 minutes. Trey, RJ Barrett, Bron, Randall, McGee, Alfred, Bridges, Howard. Yeah, I think that's an interesting play for sure. You're fading, you're fading Dinwiddie, Drew, and Ingram, which is a bit risky, but you're going with Trey, so that's an interesting pivot. And then everyone else is perfectly fine there. So LBJ, Barrett, Leonard, Randall, McGee, Hart, Prince, Howard. Let's see. Yeah, I have no issue with that either. The risk with those guys in the late game is the blowout potential, but I think that's if you're willing to take that risk, then there's no issue with that. My new lineup is RJ, Dinwiddie, LBJ, Randall, McGee, Bridges, Howard. I like that a good amount. Interest in Oubre. I do have interest in Oubre. I think him, Rubio, and Ayton stand out as good options. There's no Devin Booker, but there is some blowout risk there. So those three guys I do have interest in. If you think that game stays close, then I probably think you go with one or two of those guys maybe. So that's kind of how I'm going about it. I'm personally fading them just because I'm playing the blowout and going with a lot of the guys in the Pelicans Nets game and then a couple of the Knicks. But I have no issue if you want to go Oubre there. Again, just know what you're getting into, the potential for a blowout. Ingram, 40 real life points with the Nets last month. Yeah, I mean, I love Ingram. I love Drew. Dinwiddie or Holiday. That's a tough one. I have both in my lineup, so I will go. I'll go Dinwiddie, I guess. Yeah, that's almost a coin flip for me. I love them both. They're both really similarly priced, so that's a really close call for me. Let's see. Oh, we still got a good amount of time. We got 15 minutes until lock. Let's see. Anything else? Hornets, Graham, Rozier, Bridges, Zeller, Biombo. Okay, so they're still starting Zeller at the 4. I think he's a pretty decent GPP option. I just don't know if he's going to get the 30 minutes again, right, with Marvin Williams back. So he's definitely in play for GPPs for sure. Cody Zeller at that price. Jabari or Prince for tiers. I'll go Prince. Just because the minutes have been somewhat down on Jabari, right? 27 in back-to-back games and close games. So I will go Prince. Please let Lonzo start. Yeah, I mean, I think either way, Lonzo and Josh Hart are going to get over 30 minutes. So I have a good amount of interest in both those guys. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to go with my risky fade of LeBron or try to fit LeBron in. I like my lineup a lot with LeBron out, but it's so risky fading LeBron with no Anthony Davis. He's such a safe play. Uh, let's see. Has the line moved at all in that Pacers-Lakers game? It's at 2.5. Yeah, it's going down in the Pacers' favor. Yeah, so again, the Suns-Clippers game, those big three of the Suns, I have a good amount of interest in. It's just, the potential of a blowout scares me. So if you're making one lineup, again, cash games, I don't know if you go with those guys, but for GPPs, 100%. And then the kind of the same thing with the Clipper side. It's the same situation. How was your break, DK? Oh, it was great, man. Was in Cancun with family. I wasn't able to play Draftkings because it's not allowed in Mexico. But, just chill on the beach a lot, drank. So it was a good break for sure. I did one with LBJ. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to take out a guy like Randall or Ingram to get LBJ in and then downgrade elsewhere. I don't have him in the rest. Again, it's a pretty risky fade in my opinion to fade LeBron. If I do end up fading him, I just got to hope he doesn't go for like 80. If he gets like 60, I'm fine. But if he breaks the slate, I'm probably in trouble. If I end up fading him, again, kind of still deciding right now what I want to do. Let's see, can't do that. Nets versus Pelicans game is a great game for cash. I think so. It's a, let's see, almost a 230 over under. Both teams play a really fast pace. Both are pretty bad defensively. There's injuries on the Pelican side with more usage to go around. The Nets, still no Kyrie, still no Karis LeVert. So I think that's a pretty good game for cash games. It just stands out in my opinion. I would just keep relying. That line is your gut. Gut is normally right. Exactly. Jarrett Allen matchup thoughts. I like him as a GPP option for sure. Him and DeAndre Jordan are in a great spot. I think one, maybe even both could crush. It's just we know they're in the same situation as like JaVale or McGee and Dwight Howard, right? We know they're going to split the center minutes evenly. They're not going to play alongside each other. And I'm just going to take the discount off of, Jarrett Allen and, DeAndre Jordan for cash games with McGee and Dwight Howard. But I think, Allen and DeAndre Jordan do have a lot of upside, and it's a really good spot again. So if you're going to make me pick between Allen and DeAndre Jordan, I'm going to go with Jarrett Allen just because he plays more minutes generally, and I think he has more upside. So I do like him for GPPs a good amount at that price. Rondo, a cash lock. I wouldn't say he's a cash lock, but I think he's someone that I'm very much considering at that price. 4.7K. I know him and Anthony Davis do not play the same position, obviously, but he will get more minutes. He will. I think he gets closer to 30 maybe, and it's just a pretty good spot. So, or not really good spot, but just a lot more usage to go around, I should say. I wouldn't start Dudley. He's likely to get ejected. Yeah, so again, Jared Dudley, I don't have an issue if you want to go there. I personally don't think we have to do it. And I don't know how many minutes he's played, or he will play, I should say, right? He's played 21, 17, and 17. Now that is alongside Anthony Davis, right? So there's definitely more minutes to go around. I think he goes up to like, my best guess is like 25 to 30. I don't think he gets like 35 minutes. Maybe he could. So he's someone that is viable. I just don't know what his minutes are going to be like. Like the Lakers, they don't have a whole lot of bigs, right? Like Kuzma's out, no Anthony Davis, McGee and Dwight as their centers, but they don't have a lot of guys that can play at the 4 again that can shift LeBron down to the 4 if they want, and then kind of play with the guards. So that's why I don't think like Jared Dudley's a lock to play like 30 plus minutes. Jackson Hayes in that Brooklyn New Orleans game, you can definitely do it. If we get word of a favors minutes limit still, then I think he stands out as a better play. But I don't know if we're going to get that before lock. Chandler, won't he take minutes away from Allen? Wilson Chandler? I don't think so. What he played, let's see. He played 19 minutes. I mean, he's someone that you can look to as a GPP option, but I don't think he will take away minutes from Allen. Reddish or JaVale GPP. I would go JaVale McGee there for sure. I think there's a little price difference between Taurean Prince. Between Taurean Prince or Marcus Morris, there is. Taurean Prince is 5.5, Marcus Morris is 6.2. So, the way I'm rearranging my lineup if I want to do it, and the way to get LeBron is for me to play Jared Dudley, and I don't know if I could stomach that. Thanks, dude. Yeah, of course, man. Kenrich or Biyombo? Not super high on either. Let's see. Kenrich played 26, 26, 23. Okay, so maybe those minutes go up a little bit. They could shift him or play him at the 4, play Ingram more at the 3. He's at 3.5. Biyombo is at what, 4.6 or 4.8. I think the upside is higher in a guy like Biyombo. So, if price doesn't matter, I'll obviously go Biyombo there. I think Biyombo's an okay option for sure. Him and Zeller are definitely viable. My concern with them is Marvin Williams is now back. And we don't know how many minutes he will play, right? He had some games where he played over 30 minutes. He had some games where he only played like 15. But if he gets like 20 to 25, I think Biyombo's minutes go down. I think Cody Zeller's minutes go down. So that's what I'm concerned about with those two guys is, Marvin Williams being back. Ricky Rubio or Jrue Holiday GPP, I still got to go. I just think Drew's the safer option. I like him more, so I'm going to go Jrue there. Even in a GPP lineup, I'm still going to prefer Jrue Holiday. It's just a better chance that game stays close. So, yeah, I'm going to go Jrue there. RJ Barrett, Bridges, Suns, or Hart? Well, I think RJ Barrett, if we're talking cash games, RJ Barrett's going to be the most popular because he just is. Like, he's been talked about so much around the industry. He's even the most popular. So for cash games, you probably go RJ Barrett and just eat the chalk. But for GPPs or pivots, I think I'd go Josh Hart there. I think he gets over 30 minutes. So, yeah, I'll go Josh Hart for GPPs. I guess RJ Barrett for cash games just because he's going to be really popular. Parker or Sarge GPP. So I will go Parker there with, with DeAndre Ayton coming back. I think, they don't necessarily play the same position, him and DeAndre Ayton, but there's just less minutes to go around. So Ayton will play a lot more at the center. They could shift like Kaminsky over to the 4. Oubre can play the 4. There's a lot of guys that can move around. So I think Sarge minutes goes down a bit to maybe 25 or so. So yeah, I will go Jabari Parker between those two for GPP. What do you think about Elf, Dinwiddie, Prince, Allen, Morris, Randall, Rozier, and Bridges draft? Yeah, I think that's very fine. No issue with that. Again, I don't know if I would go Jared Allen for cash games, and you are fading both McGee and Dwight. Somewhat risky in my opinion. Dwight or Jared Dudley, definitely Dwight Howard. I talked about it a bit. I just think the upside is way higher in Dwight and JaVale McGee for a little bit more. So my strategy, you guys don't have to follow it, but I am playing both Dwight and McGee just because I think it opens up a lot more, and I don't necessarily have to play Jared Dudley. But I think Dudley will play more minutes. I just don't know. I don't think he plays 35. I think he plays 25, maybe 30. And he's a very, very low usage guy. But at 3.1K, right, doesn't have to do a whole lot. So he's an okay cash option for sure. But I'm just going to prefer, I like the upside a little bit more to White and Joel McGee. Buddy Hield, birthday narrative, LOL. It is. But again, we got Fox, we got Bagley back. It's just, don't know if I want to do it. Let's see. Good point. Thanks. Brogdon, Harrell, or Oubre for cash. I'll go Brogdon there just because for cash games, again, that last game it just worries me, the blowout potential. So with a 13.5 point spread, I mean, you got to be somewhat worried. So I will go Brogdon there for cash games. And let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to risk it tonight and fade LeBron. That's definitely probably not the preferred option for cash games, but I just love a lot of the guys in the mid-range on the Brooklyn side, on the Pelican side, the Knicks guys. So I'm just going to stick with it. And if LeBron goes for 80, I probably lose. If he goes for like 50 to 60, I'm probably okay. Bagley or Morris Sr. in cash. I will go Morris just because Bagley has been on a minutes limit, and we haven't heard anything. That game starts in like a minute. We're not going to get that news before lock. So my best guess is he's still going to be on a minutes limit, right? So, yeah, I got to go Marcus Morris there just because he will play more minutes. Did we even get the Charlotte start or the Kings starting lineup? I don't think I even saw that in Fantasy Labs. Let's see. No, they didn't announce it. Peyton, Holiday, Ingram, Prince, McGee, Dinwiddie, Randall, Lonzo, GPP. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's very similar to my lineup. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 of the 8 in my lineup. So yeah, it's very similar. Again, I'm taking the shot, fading LeBron. You're probably cash games you play LeBron, but I'm taking the shot. Thanks, man. Hope you win some money. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You too. Yes, just now. Oh, the Kings lineup just got announced. Kings will start Joseph, Hield, Barnes, Bjelica, Holmes. Okay, so with that coming out, that means Marvin Bagley will still be on a minutes limit. So again, only for GPPs he was. But let's talk about some ownership. There's a lot of guys, in these early games. Thanks again, bro. Good luck. Of course, man. The Kings, they just did, yeah. So again, Bagley, Fox, both of them. Fox for sure, Bagley. My best guess is he will still be on a minutes limit. But let's talk about some ownership here. So, I got in the first game, in the $40 single entry tournament, I have Dwight at 26%, McGee at 64%. So obviously people are preferring McGee to Dwight. My strategy is playing them both. Let me see what LeBron's ownership is. He's 73%. Dudley's 5%. Yeah, so in the $40 tournament, again, not a lot of people were thinking the same thing as me of just don't think we have to go with Jared Dudley. Let's see, Sabonis at 14%. Don't mind him and Brogdon. I just don't think they're great plays. Danny Green, 1%. Buddy Hield, 7%. Cody Zeller, 10%. LeBron, 85% cash. Yep. I mean, that's kind of what I figured. I just got to pray he doesn't go for like 80. If he does, I'm probably not going to win. But if he just gets like 50 or 60, I think it'll be okay. Let's see, what else? Again, I'm kind of surprised Dwight isn't more high owned. I really thought the way to go was just to play both those centers. But that's really all the ownership. I mean, obviously I knew LeBron was going to be high owned. Let's see. Marvin Williams picked up 2%. Again, Buddy Hield 7%. Let me look in cash games in this $10 double up, see what it's. LeBron, 85%. Again, kind of expected that. I took a stand. Rondo, only 8%. So, again, RJ Barrett is going to be super popular, but there were pivots off of him. You know, Rondo, Josh Hart, Alfred Payton on the same team, Lonzo Ball. LeBron, 54% in $10 100K. Yeah, he's higher owned in the higher dollar, in the $40 tournament, at least that I'm in. He was like 73%. So I just got to pray he doesn't go off like 80. Marvin Bagley, 6%. Yeah, I mean, him coming off the bench, I think he's still going to be on a minutes limit. But we'll see. If my mid-tier guys show up big, right, my Pelicans guys, my Nets, my couple of Knicks guys that I have, I could be okay. Hoping Dwight has a much better game than McGee now in cash. Yeah, he's a lot lower owned. But I really think the optimal way was to just play both those guys because we know they will split the center minutes. The Lakers don't have any other centers besides Dwight and McGee. The Pacers run big. They just get a big usage bump, no Anthony Davis. So I love I love Dwight and McGee tonight. Obviously LeBron too, but I think the way to go was to play both those Lakers centers. We'll see. But yeah, I think I will hop off here. Almost been streaming for an hour now. Let's see what the slate looks like for Wednesday. Again, it's good to be back, guys, after like 4 or 5 day break. Wednesday we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. So that's a good slate. I will have my video up for that later tonight on my channel. Be on the lookout for that. But I'm going to hop off here again. Thank you guys all for coming to check out the stream. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow.